This is Adam Rhodes with Mystic Rhodes Productions, and if you are familiar with MRP, you know that we got our start way back in 2004 when myself and another gentleman, Merlin Mayhew, also known as Uncle Merv, were Peace Corps volunteers in Jamaica, and I lived and worked in Jamaica for 4 years as part of my Peace Corps service, and it's been about 20 years since I've served in Jamaica, and it's been a few years since I've been back. But as most of you know, Jamaica has been in the news recently because Hurricane Melissa hit the island and devastated pretty much the entire island. And I just think about everything that Jamaica has done for me. People say, it's kind of a cliche that people say that Peace Corps changed their lives, but Peace Corps, being in Peace Corps did change my life. Living in Jamaica did change my life, and I think about everything that being in that place and being a part of that culture has done for me, and seeing what happened to them down there, and especially to the people that I know and care about and the area that I lived in. Seeing everything that happened to them down there, I just have to do something to help out. There's a lot of different places that you could donate to help people in Jamaica, but I want to make sure that the money that I donate and that we could raise through MRP goes to the people and the part of the island that I lived on. It's right in the middle of the island, and it sounds like it's very inaccessible right now, and it's hard to get people aid in there, and it's gonna take time. So I want to raise some money and help that part of the country and some of the people that I knew while I was down there. So I just wanted to share a quick story about my time in Jamaica and tell you about how it relates to raising funds for hurricane recovery down there. So when you join Peace Corps Jamaica, there is a training process that you go through where you're with the entire group of volunteers and you train for several weeks to get ready for your service. And after I did that, I was driven to my site and dropped off at some random house in the middle of the night by a guy I had just met, would come to be my supervisor while I was down there, Hugh Dixon. They dropped me off at my new house in the middle of the night, and I went inside and it was empty, but there was a guy sleeping on the couch, and that was kind of weird, and I didn't know what to say or hardly even how to say anything to Jamaican people at that point. But so that was my first night there, and the next morning I got up and I was all alone in this new country where it's hard to, culture is different, the customs are different, the language is hard to follow. These two little boys showed up on my doorstep, and they were pretty much the first two people I met once I was on my own in Jamaica, and their names were Jerome and Maurice, and they are brothers. They're 7 and 9 years old, and I could not understand a single word that those two were saying. They were talking in Jamaican patois to each other and running around my house and going through all my stuff and eating all my candy that I had brought a little candy stash with me, and tried to, it was a crazy experience. And from that time on, those two little boys were a part of my life pretty much every day for the 4 years that I lived down there. Kind of said that we adopted them. They were very extreme poverty. Them and their parents lived in this little shack that's about as big as an American bathroom, a regular bathroom in your house. That's about how big their entire house was. It was just this little shack, no shoes, dirty clothes, holes in their clothes, kind of scrounging around for whatever they could scrounge around for. probably weren't going to school that much and things like that. And we just kind of, myself and my roommate and other Peace Corps volunteers that were in the area just kind of started taking care of them. So they were always over there hanging out with us, sharing our food with us. We made sure they had uniforms and school supplies to go to school, and that they had bus fare to get on the bus to get to school. And we made sure they were doing their homework every day after school, and just trying to teach them how to read and write and all that stuff, which they didn't know how to do at 7 and 9 years old. And we just kind of took care of them for the last 4 years that we were down there, and I've been in touch with them ever since. They've got their own kids now, my little Jamaican grandbabies. And Jerome, the older brother, goes up to Canada to work on the farms for part of the year, and still keep in touch quite a bit. And I helped them out throughout the years whenever if they did need help, but they're men now and they take care of themselves. But this hurricane passed through and basically destroyed their house. The house that they did live in or shared together was not much of a house compared to what we would see here in the States, and it just basically completely destroyed. The roof's gone, the walls are down, and all their stuff that they had in there was ruined. So if we are able to raise some funds through MRP, the first thing it's going to do is to help out those boys and their house, and get their house rebuilt and get their lives back in order. And if we're able to do that, we still raise more money than there's plenty of people in South Trelawny. Albertown, the town that I worked in and spent a lot of my time in, is kind of destroyed. I mean, like literal buildings, businesses just collapsed and gone. So there's that to help. And I have lots of other friends that I've heard from that their roofs are gone, or their property's destroyed. So anything else we can do to get money to the area, South Trelawny area, that I lived in and worked in for all that time, and it's still an important part of my life, that we can help out some of those people that might not be getting aid from all the other sources. So that's what this fundraiser is all about. And if you can help out Jerome and Maurice and the rest of the South Trelawny people, would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.